Hello students and parents, my name is Mr. Giomini. I'd like to welcome you to the Team 6B Open House presentation. I know sometimes with a conflicting schedule, maybe some of you weren't able to attend the open house on August 20th, so here's a little video of the presentation that we put on for those who are able to attend. Just to introduce ourselves briefly, this is Mrs. Moore. She is the language arts teacher on this team. This is Mrs. Demko. Beginning of the year, will not see her. She will be on maternity leave until early January. She'll be back in January, which we'll be excited to see her again. She's your science teacher. This is Mrs. Spagnola. She's always smiling like this. She will be your social studies teacher, and I am Mr. Giomini, and this is kind of how I look all the time. So get used to that smug. Anyways, taking a look here, I want to first provide you with our contact information. As you can see, have listed all of our email addresses along with Troy's line and with our direct extensions. If at any time during the course of the year there's a comment, concern, question you may have, please feel free to contact any one of us, all four of us. The protocol here at Troy is if you contact us, we have a 24-hour window to which to get back to you. Whatever avenue you like to contact us with is great, whether it's phone, email, but we look forward to dialoguing with you throughout the year. Here's our daily schedule for our team. As you can see, the times and whatnot. First, second, third, fourth period, that's when you will be engaged in the content area studies of the day. So we're talking language arts, social studies, science, mathematics. You can see exploratory here. That is our music, art, phys ed, media technology. We do have a late lunch, so we do encourage you to kind of have a good sized breakfast. We will have a little snack, a healthy snack around third period. You can see advisory, which is our study hall type of our organized study hall, and then you see dismissals at 2:25. Schedule is very much similar to what it was in fifth grade. Obviously the periods are different than they were used to in fifth grade, but same time school starts, and then school dismissals same time as last year. Team homework policy. For the most part, mathematics will assign evening practice every single day, including the weekend. All assignments we posted to the team blog daily, and I'll show you that here briefly. There is homework assistance available during advisory or also a prearranged time between the student and teacher. Advisory period, really try to encourage students that if they're struggling with something to come and ask the teacher of that specific content area for a little bit of help, some guidance. Also, too, great idea, students, if you do finish evening practice or your homework during advisory, there's nothing stopping you from going to that teacher and saying, hey, Mr. Giomini, or hey, Mrs. Demko, hey, Miss Spagnola, Mrs. Moore, is this right? Can you take a look at this? We really encourage that. That way we can get some clarity, a nice understanding, and you go home feeling really good and confident about what's going to take place the next day, because evening practice or homework is a nice springboard into the next day's conversation. All evening practice or homework, they're assigned a certain day. The very next day they are expected to be done and in class. Now sometimes in social studies, science, in language arts, you may have a project that extends several days or weeks. Those teachers will kind of have a little checklist of, hey, this is due at a certain date, etc., etc. But for the most part, 95% of the time, evening practice or homework is assigned on Monday, it's due Tuesday. Assigned on Tuesday, it's due on Wednesday, etc., etc. Nothing different probably than what you had in fifth grade. Absentee policy. We do have the team blog, and I will visit that later on in the presentation, and you will see, I'll give you a rough example of what it looks like. Every day, all four teachers on the team post what was covered in class and also what was for evening practice. So if you are ill for some reason or you have to be absent from school, you have access to see what was covered in class, and you even have sometimes the ability to see handouts, print out handouts to do at home, and you'll see what's assigned for evening practice or homework that night. The policy is printed out, the school policy is printed out inside of your planner. I'll open up that cover. I think within the first couple of pages there's the policy of how we follow the rules that pertain to if you're absent one day, how many days you have to make something up, etc., etc. And again, we'll talk about this daily form here, which is to be completed by team teachers daily, so students may have access to class materials, and we'll talk about that. Advisory period. Similar to what you may have had in fifth grade, this year in sixth grade it's at the very end of the day. I know last year in fifth grade it might have been towards the middle of the day. And these are for extracurricular activities, such as if you're involved in orchestra or band. Homework assistance, as I covered earlier. Makeup assignments, so if you do happen to be ill, you can come in and talk with that teacher the next day and say, hey, Mr. Jimmy, I was absent. I didn't understand looking at the daily work thing, I was confused. Can we go over it? Great opportunity. Some enrichment opportunities as well. So if you're doing extremely well with a topic, that teacher may have something to kind of extend that, which is great. Also, we have team meetings during this time where all 100 students, on Team 6B will get together. We'll talk about great things that the four of us teachers are seeing, maybe some concerns we have, maybe a student has a concern that we'll bring up as a whole. We also recognize students monthly that who kind of go above and beyond, and we call it, that's our kind of student of the month thing. So those happen monthly, the team meetings. Other important information. I know it's kind of customary here at Troy that if it's your birthday, parents may make something to bring in, a treat for the homeroom or whatnot. Please be aware that throughout the years here we've had kids who have certain types of allergies, whether it's allergies to nuts or milk, or they need gluten-free diet. So if you do plan on bringing a treat in for your birthday or something like that, or even for a holiday celebration, please contact the homeroom teacher so that you're aware of any allergies that may be present in the classroom. We'd hate to see anybody get ill. Team conferences. Now this is different than fall conferences. Team conferences, that's when we, as a team of teachers, the four of us, we have a common planning time every day from 11:45 to 12:30. If for some reason you'd like to meet with us in person, this is throughout the entire course of the year. This is separate from fall and spring conferences. This is a great time to meet with us. We've had this in the past where we kind of have a parent come in, we talk, discuss some things. We can even bring in the student the child, to talk with them, with their parents. So if at any time in the course of the year you see something you don't like and you want to address us face-to-face, call up. We could set something up for like 11:45, 12:30. And it's a great opportunity for us to kind of sit down and dialogue. I have fall conferences listed on here. You'll see they're Wednesday, November 13th and Thursday, November 14th. Those times are 1 to 7 o'clock. That's what those days we have what we call early dismissal. That's at 12:55. Your child will be coming home, and then conferences start up, and they're usually 15-minute intervals, so we can meet a lot of people, have a lot of rich discussion. As I mentioned earlier, we do have healthy snacks permitted during third period because our lunch is so late. Even as teachers, your stomach starts to grumble right around 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in that area there. So a nice snack can kind of hold over. Now we're talking about maybe a piece of fruit, maybe sun chips, something like that. Again, nothing in that, like a bag of Skittles. That's not necessarily going to help the child stay engaged. So something that's healthy. And I'm not going to really be a dietitian and tell you what falls under that. Team blog. Now, this is what it looks like right now because I have no posts, but I'm going to visit it real quick and we can kind of navigate around and take a look. Let me make this a tad bit bigger so you can see here. You will see here again, here's our contact information if for some reason you forget it. Here's the little guidelines for allergies. Here's the absent work, and this is the daily work. Now I'm going to click on this. This is going to be old. I'll click on it. Again, once the first day of school starts, it'll be a little different. You can see this is from the last week of school, so not many things are going on as far as academically. A lot of the variety show, field day, things of that nature. But you can see each content area has their own little section. Talks about what was covered in class that day, and also what kind of homework will be assigned. And then down here you'll see the miscellaneous section where you might say, hey, we have a field trip coming up, and we'll put it down there. Or, hey, book fair's coming up. Or, hey, magazine sales, and you'll see that down there. This is updated daily by every teacher. You can see here Mrs. Moore has some hyperlinks, so you can click on something, print it out at home. So this is a great place if you know you're going to be sick or you wake up not feeling well. Click on this maybe around noontime when all the teachers are updated. You can see something. And then if you have a question about that, you can actually then contact us before we leave for the evening and say, hey, Mr. Giomini, looking at this math homework, the handout I printed out, don't quite understand it, can you go over? So this is updated daily. Great thing to look at. I should have exited that. I should go back to the blog. Sorry. You will also see here student info and expectations. Just little expectations that all the 6th grade teachers have for all of the students. You will see here that Mrs. Moore has her language arts OAA practice site. You can click here. It's a hyperlink. Some fab vocab, which I don't know if you call it that in 5th grade, but every week we have 5 new words of fab vocab, and then as the year goes, they just build on each other. So that's something you want to keep in mind. Here's the whole Google Doc for the entire week, the entire year. Here you'll see again the special schedule. Those from the Gradebook Wizard, it's all right here. Textbooks, they may change a little bit because pre-algebra and EDM will not be utilized this year, so that'll change, but you have your social studies and science textbook. A couple of the teachers on the team have their own personal blogs on top of the team blog, so you can click on here to access this. Due to Mrs. Demko being absent for the first half of the year, doing on leave, you'll get an idea of what's going on a little bit, see how she or organizes things, but it's not going to be updated as until more like January. But Mrs. Demko, or I'm sorry, Mrs. Spagnola and I will be updating ours when we feel the need. You can see some books that the teachers are reading, so that you know we also read. And then you'll see a calendar for each teacher that will show what's for evening practice on that day. Now, again, being a school year, we have not put up anything yet, but you know you may see on Thursday, the 22nd, you may see Mrs. Demko's sub has assigned something for evening practice. So this is where we call this the kind of this is the meeting ground for everything. So if your child comes home and says, I have no homework, no evening practice, you go right to troy6b.blogspot.com. I want to bookmark that, and you can go through and look at every single teacher's and say, hey, wait, you know what, Johnny? According to this, Mrs. Demko's sub has a test coming up next Friday. Let's start reviewing for that now. Hey, I see Mrs. Moore has a fab vocab. So this is updated daily as well. And again, so you can kind of look through. You can even see Mrs. Spagnola has when the winter breaks are. So you can tell she's looking forward to Christmas already. So this is a great opportunity for, again, to just check. And as we tell parents, this is like somewhere you should go every single day and just check, see what's going on in class and what's being assigned. That kind of covers this presentation. Again, feel free to contact us with any questions. I know the beginning of the year is a little hectic at times, but we're really looking forward to be a nice, smooth transition and a real productive 6th grade year for both your student and also you. Thank you for listening. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.